Like, oh, it doesn't say run. All right,
What
it's fine. Sorry, I totally forgot.
The fuck?
Guy just casually, just straight up guessed. Tough.
I sent you the thing.
Ah, well, you know what? I don't have time for these kinds of things, to be honest. Hold on. Let's fix that quickly. Let's just quickly fix that. I'll let you be there.
Freaking guess, W.
That's my
Why is
favorite
it white?
thing. Why are you? I don't know.
That's
Why
fine.
are you
know what?
white?
Whatever, bro. You're right. True. Good call on that, actually. Why am I white? Let's get it. Let's actually dive into that.
Honestly, I think that's the main topic of this.
Why am I white?
Why are you?
Well, my parents.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Looking good. We don't have that live note out, so we're safe. No one's here.
No one's here.
Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Ah, looks good though. It's a little big. It's a little bigger. Can't be bigger than mine.
It's a little off-centered.
So that's the rule. Can't be bigger than mine.
Okay.
Shit.
Hello?
Right. Hello? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're live. I don't know. I think we're live. I think everything's happening. Oh, yeah, okay. It
Any
works.
we're livers in chat?
No, there's no. Don't talk to chat. They're not allowed to talk to us. That's the rule for this one. That's the rule for this
They're
one.
not allowed to talk to us. Here, let me do a shout out for you.
Oh, quick SO? I should have SO'd you.
Quick SO?
That's how we'll start out, chat. SO Rudbud. Honestly, this is my favorite spot to hang out. This is waiting for the live notification is where I talk to my guests. You kind of have that casual conversation first so that they feel comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, right. And so that's what I'm doing with you, since I know that you're nervous about speaking on stream.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah.
Why? You're new to it. You're really new to it. So that's how it goes. No, but I actually, okay, so yeah, I guess, guys, the idea of this podcast is we're just gonna kind of sit down, have some conversations with different people from the community. Rudbud has recently found his way into our community. I am a little trepidatious of him. But,
Trepidatious.
a little trepidatious.
I feel like trepidatious is a more obscure word than it used to be.
Yeah, you're right. There's not enough trepidatious.
I'd say the usage of trepidatious
around.
has gone down lately.
Yeah, with the rise of bodacious, trepidatious actually dropped off in terms of word use. Conceal, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. But okay, where I really wanted to start with this one is I love that idea of exploring how we each got into Twitch in general. Not before you started streaming, but do you remember when you first decided to like even just get on to Twitch?
Okay, so what do you mean get on to Twitch? Like,
Just
do you mean
just
like even
load
like
up the
watch
platform, be like, hey, let's check out, let's see what this is about.
I was a YouTube frog for sure first. Like I definitely watched a few. I watched a couple PewDiePie videos back in the day. You know,
one or two, yeah.
One or two, but I would see these people, these YouTubers interact with streamers, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so I started watching like stream highlights, and I would watch all of these like hilarious moments from streams on YouTube videos, and I was like, I don't know, I literally started following even Dr. Disrespect like before I even ever went over to Twitch on his YouTube. And then at one point I was like, man, it looks like everyone in the comments is having a lot of fun. I should like just go over there and check it out. This probably would have been like, this is not just Dr. Disrespect, that was just an example, but this would have been even before Dr. Disrespect, so like earlier. And so I went over to the platform and I just would like randomly like go into streams and stuff. But the problem is the Twitch culture, the inside, even in the most vanilla corners of the platform, it's very like it's its own language, right?
Yeah,
It's its own like culture. And so I just like felt like I didn't know what was going on essentially. So I wouldn't really stick around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably around 2016 that I actually started going and watching Dr. Disrespect's streams. Oh. And I just thought they were freaking hilarious. And then I actually watched Ninja. I wasn't a viewer of Ninja, but I watched Ninja back in the day when he was like smaller, and he used to pretend to be like a Dr. Disrespect character. He called himself Mr. Respect.
What?
And he would wear like a yellow wig, like he was trying to pretend to be. He was like kind of making fun of the Doc, right? But
yeah.
I was watching back when he was doing that. Yeah, and then we got over to Fortnite. I stopped watching, but
I don't know Ninja at all pre-Fortnite.
Yeah, this was back when he was actually pretty funny. He used to like swear and like, I don't know, mess. He was kind of toxic. He was just kind of funny.
Dude, that's funny. Hey, Peeves. Hey, Death Cloud using every emote or every command. I love it. Perfect. That's what I needed.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, kind of started messing around on Twitch that way, and then I think probably like 2016, I was like, man, I'd love to do this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it started for me. How about you?
Okay. 2016, hey?
Yeah.
That's actually a lot earlier than I would have thought. So like
4 years I wanted to stream. 4 years and I'm not gonna lie, I did a couple streams back in like 2017 for like 30 minutes and I got too terrified that I stopped. I went live and I would just freak out and stopped. Yeah, I was like, what people act. Yeah, I'm a total introvert, man. It's hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I get that for sure. I mean, it's super, super freaky the first time you stream. Like, it's super freaky. And you kind of forget that, too. You forget that as you sort of settle into it, what it really feels like to be a first-time streamer. I mean, you kind of remember because there's always nerves going live.
Yeah.
But it's scary for sure. And so, what did you play the first time you streamed?
Call of Duty.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, actually, that's not true. It would have been Battlefield 4 or 3. It was like a long time ago, man. And it was like
4.
It would have been 4. I think you're right. Yeah, Battlefield 4. And I just was like, I don't know. I was just being a dumbass. Like I wasn't even like in hindsight, it was actually probably pretty good content because I was just like being 1,000%. Like, you know me when I go crazy, it was like that, but for 30 minutes.
Man, I want nothing more to be able to go back and see that stream.
Imagine, and I was streaming off my Xbox too.
Hell yeah! Like, so was it just the game and a headset kind of thing? Did you have
that would have been a headset mic.
Mm-hmm.
Headset.
Okay, yeah, that was similar to me too, man. That was similar to me too. Okay, so then I think I sort of knew you before. Oh, we got a raid from X. X, thank you for the raid, buddy. We're running like a little our first time podcast type thing here. You guys, X is very close to
it's more like an interview than a podcast. You know?
Yeah, it's more of an interview. Yeah, that's the better way to put it, actually, because I'm actually not gonna open up at all about myself.
Honestly, I just really hope I get the job.
Oh, dude, your chances are looking rough already. I'll be totally honest.
Honestly, as soon as I opened up about Ninja, it went downhill.
Yeah, honestly, I'm finishing this interview just out of courtesy at this point. But no, man, and no, that's super cool. So then, when I met you, you hadn't really streamed much. Like, you never made the commitment to dedicate yourself to it.
So I met you in August or September of 2020, right? That was in the rec stream.
Yeah.
It must have been that early, or might have been earlier than that actually. But
it would have been because when. I don't think it was September, because I honestly still think I think
must have been September
in Edmonton at the time.
Yeah. So I hadn't. You 100% were, because I remember when we were talking about where we were from, you're like, oh, I'm living in Edmonton. So.
Right. Yeah. But I would have just gotten here. So crazy.
Yeah. So we were in rec stream. This is when I was committing. I like I said, I spent 4 years wanting to stream, and I finally was like, dude, it's freaking COVID. I can't leave my house. All I'm doing is I've watched all of the Netflix series I want to watch. Like, what am I gonna do? All I'm doing is playing video games. I might as well stream it. And so I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna go live. And so I made the profile. I made my first, like, I looked up how to do Streamlabs, and I looked up how to do all that stuff, and I was just like terrified the whole time, but just mortified of doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then what I did is I watched these videos, which is a good thing to do, by the way. If you're getting into streaming, like, watch like how-to videos. A lot of it is garbage, but a lot of it can help you, like, you know, at the beginning. But
yeah,
yeah. So I watched a video, and it's like, oh, you need to, you know, if you really want people to watch you, because I was like, I do not want to go live with one person watching. Like, that was like not something I was interested in. Because it's like, well, I might as well just be playing by myself at that point.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, I want viewers in here now and not waiting for it. So what I did is I looked up how to get viewers, you know, Google how to get viewers. And it was like, one thing you can do is, well, you can promote to family. And I was like, that's not going to happen. There's 0% chance. 0% chance that's going to happen. Or you can, where am I even going with this? What was the point?
Well, we were talking about you starting streaming, really.
Yeah,
so,
I know,
like,
but I can't remember there was 2 points I was going to make, and I can't remember what was one. One of them was like, yeah, you can get family. And then, yeah, the other one was, oh man, that's so trash. I can't remember what it is.
Would the other one be because so, like, I know for, like, the people in our community who first start streaming, it's the people who generate all of these connections right off the bat. They get known in communities.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes, the connections. It's to go into other
Ducey,
streams.
what's up, man?
And go make friends and stuff, right? And it's like, don't try to like promo yourself, but make friends, and those people will come check you out. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's easy. I'm really good at going and making friends. So I'll just, like, online, that is. So I'll just, like, go into streams and hang out. Rec was one of the first probably 6 or 7 streams I clicked on.
Jeez, dude, that's crazy.
And that was the day that I met you. Is that I clicked on it, and I was like, he was like, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm Canadian. And then you're like, oh, I'm Canadian. And everyone was like, I'm Canadian. So.
Weird. Yeah. Hey, I wonder if Rec hadn't asked you where you were from, if we would have even cared to chat with each other. Right. Which is the crazy. Where are you from, boss?
Yeah, boss. Hey, boss. How you doing?
That's so funny. What's up, dude? Good to see you guys. I'm doing a little bit less chatting with the chat itself, just to make room for the guest. I mean, you guys know Rud. We most of us do. But
honestly, it's getting me to shut up. That's the trick, right? But...
No, but it's good stuff, dude. It's good stuff. So then, when you were first in that Rec one, your mentality was kind of like, let's finally, like, community build, sort of thing.
I honestly, what it was more about was like, okay, how I don't want friends or family in the stream realistically, because I just want to be able to be free. That was like a big thing for me. Like, I couldn't even have family in the house when I was streaming, because I was paralyzed with just, like, embarrassment or whatever it was. I don't know. I can do it now. I could stream in front of a room full of people now, and I wouldn't even care.
Yeah, right? But it's also the idea that, like, you are an established streamer now, right? Like, if you were still streaming to 1 to 2 people, that would feel very vulnerable. Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
You're just like, this is what I do, and it's legitimate. Like, that's the difference now.
Right. Yeah. It's like there's something to back it. Yeah. Right. But so my entire mindset was like, hey, I'm just gonna go make some friends, and then those friends will, like, you know, I'll have some, like, connections on Twitch, and then it worked out. See, but another streamer that I did that with is Maximus.
Right.
He was one of the first streams too, and he only had 30 viewers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And I played I actually got in stream the first day I was there. I played a game with him, and I was like, damn, this guy's amazing. So.
That's crazy. Hey, it's funny. It's also funny those people that
the initial connections.
Yeah, the initial connections, and the people who really have, like, blown up on Twitch too, and that happens. And it's funny, you were around for the beginning.
Much Mom is another one. I went in her stream. I was one of the first 5 viewers she had.
That's crazy, man.
She didn't have a mic. She didn't talk. What? And we just went in there, and me and a couple other guys were just, like, memeing in there. She's playing, like, Maple Story. I'd never heard of the game before. and I'm just in there, just like, shooting the shit. And she ends up being a huge Rocket League streamer. It's kind of funny.
Crazy, man. It's crazy how things work out. But I mean, it can happen to any of us. It really can. But you just need to. It's a little bit of like catching lightning in a bottle too, to just gain that traction right off the bat. But
yeah. So
absolutely.
anyway, that's kind of that was my initial.
Your initial foray into Twitch, as it was. How do you because how far we're probably a year and a half into legitimately streaming. How do you feel like you reflect on it from when you started to when you are now? Like, where's the growth in you really that you feel like you've seen as a streamer?
I think that it's I think a lot of it has to do with initial engagement. I feel like I'm at a point where I can someone new comes into stream, there's a good chance they'll stick around for a little while. And a lot of people will talk about this. Initial engagement with new viewers is super important, and you'll notice that a lot of streamers that have poor communication skills with their chat, new people will just come and go, and they'll see their viewer count up and down and up and down and up and down because people are popping in because some people want to lurk and some people want engagement,
right?
And the people who want to lurk will say hi and then they'll shut up, but they'll be there for the rest of the stream, or they won't even say anything. But the ones who are chatters, if you don't engage them, they'll leave.
Yeah,
they'll because there are two different types of chatters. There are the two different types of viewers. There's like I said, the lurkers and the chatters. And the chatters want to chat, and if you're not giving them what they want, they'll leave.
Yeah.
So it's kind of finding that balance between, what does the viewer want to see? So, and I'm not there yet either. I'm growing. Like.
I mean, but no, that's such a good example, right? It's to learn how to keep people there and how to hook them really at the same time, because yeah, you're right. Like, you got to do something to make your stream stand out, and a lot of time it's viewer engagement to begin with. But I mean, I can say for you as a streamer though, just going into a stream, if I was to go into your stream the first time, I would just recognize the energy of it too.
I think that's a big thing too. Yeah.
Right, because you know what I notice in your streams is that you have a lot of like follows first, and then they'll maybe say something to you.
Right.
Whereas I've seen the dynamic of the opposite, where someone's like says hi, and then you're chatting with them for like, a little while, and then like, oh, I should follow this person. But I do think that there's something to be said about the energy of your stream, aside from that initial engagement.
I've never actually thought about that. That's really perceptive. Because you're totally right. People will follow, and then sometimes they won't even say anything, or they'll just they'll chat.
Right, for sure. So like, there's something to be said about that too. But I know it's so hard to know what the secret recipe is for that, whether or not it's being just always on and ready to like present that better version of your stream self to anybody who's clicking on your stream. But it's a hard one. It really is. Kind of something that you can't quite put words to. Even if you ask sometimes why one person is successful on Twitch over somebody else, there's still parts of it that feel a little intangible.
Well, I think too, there's enough viewers that, like, I think that the big problem we come across is that we just assume that every viewer is the same. I'm not the same as you as a viewer. I mean, I watch a fair amount of Twitch. I act very different than you, even though we have a similar sense of humor and stuff. I think that if we start comparing ourselves to other streamers, there's different chats usually. And although there's a huge crossover in chat, like you'll see some streamers with, the same viewers as you do, that viewer is there for a different reason than they're in your stream, or vice versa. So like, let's say you're if I'm in a Wendeavor stream, I'm there because it's like good conversation and like, stuff like that. But if I'm in a Bucko stream, I'm there because he's goofing around doing funny trick shots in Rocket League. So it's like, that's where the disconnect kind of comes in with like, well, why does this person have more viewership? It's like, well, they offer something different.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good point. And for sure, you'll generate different communities. And like, I guess that leads into the point of like, what is it that you're like striving to, what kind of Twitch community are you striving to create further down the road, and like how does what you want your stream to become align with what it currently looks like?
Oh man, I don't know. My chat has changed a lot lately too. Like, I mean, you can even see. I think I haven't looked at chat yet, but I'm sure there's. I posted and hopefully someone came over. But
yeah, oh yeah, it's a lot of your people.
Okay, cool. But like, yeah, the new turnover for me, there's just like a lot of different characters, and I think that's part of the thing too, is that chats kind of evolve as you go, and they'll kind of ebb and flow and stuff. But I think in the future, I think my dream would be to just like, it sounds awful, but some people will say, oh, I don't want to become a big streamer because I won't have that chat engagement. I want to be the streamer where I can just, the chat's moving too fast for me to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to read chat. Like, I love reading chat when there's just a few of us because it's hilarious. But realistically, at the end of the day, I wanted there to be the chat to be entertaining themselves as well. Like,
yeah, for sure. Well, that's a core component of it too, right? Is that, and that should be any stream, right? Is that the chat should bounce off of each other just as much as it does the streamer. What I find interesting about that is when you say that, what that to me makes me think is that would scare me if I didn't have the connection with chat specifically, and almost like the majority of the content is that seems freaky to me, that it's like, okay, now the onus is on me to genuinely be an entertaining streamer.
True.
That's freaky.
I love that. That's like pure, I can just goof off and whatever, and then hopefully people like it enough to stick around. Because I mean, like, a big thing right now is when you've got chats that are a little bit smaller, like 20 or 15 or 10 people, or even 40 people realistically, like the little bit bigger streamers, but their chats is still very connected to the streamer, and so you can't really ignore them because there's nobody there doing, like, you'll miss a message here and there, but I'm talking about like not looking at them at all, almost like the big streamers do. Yeah. You just can't do that because they're just sitting there. It's like, it's kind of a dick move to, like,
yeah,
if they're like tagging you and stuff. But I mean, eventually, we're talking down the road, I'd like to have it where I almost decrease my chat.
Which is interesting, right? Because it's like, some people, I like, say I look for, what's Bray's here? What's up, dude?
Right.
I look for a little bit, obviously we both want growth in our communities. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's the end goal. But like, for me, I don't know what my stream looks like if it gets bigger than 100 viewers at a time.
Right.
And that's the thing. But like, for sure, like for you, do you feel like it's like sky's the limit, really, is probably what you're hoping for, right? And that's a worthy goal.
I don't know if I'm entertaining enough for it yet. I think that, okay, I know you're gonna just shut up for a second. I personally think that, you know, like, well, I mean, realistically, I'm not trying as hard as I could right now.
Thanks for being here, bud.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm leaving some on the table, and part of that is just for my own sanity, right? Okay. So I can actually not burn out.
Yeah.
Because if you give 110% every stream, it's like, I don't want that kind of drain. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know, I think that I can still work on that part of me, right? And have it so that, you know, I don't have to bounce off chat for the content.
Right.
I want to get to the place where I'm self-sufficient in being entertaining enough that I don't need that.
Right, for sure. And I think, honestly, makes sense. Yeah, absolutely it does. And I do think that, like, sure, there's room to grow in that area for all of us, but I do think that you have such a solid foundation for that, where you just kind of have that personality to be able to create that atmosphere. And like, even when you're one of the few streamers that Jesus, define big streamer. You're one of the real few streamers that I will just put on, and I don't really have to talk, because I do just like to hear like you just being a goofball, really, right? So I think you have that basis for it, and it's good. The tough part is to find that balance of when you start to get a more active chat to not lose that part of yourself too, right? So it's tough to find that energy at the same time and to actively work on that. Oh, Deborah just ignores me. I'm not trying to ignore you, Conceal. I'm just we're trying to make it so that it's like a little bit of back and forth. I see you, Conceal.
Brennan was like, Brennan was, or Wendever, sorry, was talking about doing kind of more interview streams like this. And it's, less engagement means he can focus more on,
on
what's going on.
The conversation at hand, for sure. I think honestly, what I was happy about with the nature of this one though is that it was you. So it's like you understand finding that balance. Whereas I'm not always gonna have like somebody on here who really understands that. So that's when the balance is. Oh, Conceal says in Rud stream. Okay. I don't think I do. Although sometimes I'll say something and like leave, and then somebody has said something to me, and I'm like, oh shit.
You guys, he is 100% there to troll me and no one else.
It's so funny. It is so funny that I just don't care about my image in your stream, because like I don't behave that way in anyone else. It's all positive reinforcement at anyone else's stream. But like,
sorry,
Steve, I would say a big streamer. Well, I mean, okay, so I think
what is a big streamer? Is that what we're asking?
Yeah, that's kind of what Steve is saying. Like, what would you feel like is a big streamer?
No, you were going. You go first.
For me, I think you are a big streamer if you're at that level to get partnered.
I'd agree.
That's a very realistic big streamer. It's like the separation in the world between millionaires and billionaires. There's very few billionaires. It's much more easy. It's hard to become a millionaire. It takes work, but it's much more attainable. Whereas I feel like the people who pull thousands of people at a time, they're the billionaires of Twitch, and there's only so much room for that, and it's near impossible to truly attain. Because you think of someone. So when I first came to Twitch, I came to Twitch because I watched a lot of Funhouse, which is actually this hoodie, and two of the main people from Funhouse left and decided to start streaming. And I would be watching. So one of them is Bruce Green and one of them is Lawrence Sontag. And Bruce Green is actually what I would consider a fairly big streamer. The funny thing is that he pulls probably on average 500 concurrent viewers, but on that list of top earners got leaked.
Yep.
He was in the top 20 of the most
the
most earned money on Twitch.
That's called a dedicated community. Lower viewership, high subscription probably per viewer.
Yeah, and that's what it is. He has this. I mean, some people have kind of criticized him because he has this mentality of he'll always be like, okay, pass on the kindness if somebody gifts to you. But people say to him, like, criticize him for that, being like, okay, I'm expecting you to gift to somebody else now within my community. But he always specifies that it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be another sub. He's just like, the mentality of pass on the kindness. But I do still think it creates an atmosphere of lots of subs. He's got a very giving community. But it's crazy to me. The point is being that he's not in that thousands of viewer base, but if he's in the top 20 earners, he's a big time streamer. Right? So there is a little bit different metrics for what that is to certain people. But I would say if you're partnered level, I'll consider you a big time streamer.
And so for me, like, see, it's so funny because I watched that Musty video a little while ago that had like Zingers and Max in it and Glacier, like the people that I know. And it's so funny because I was like, oh, these are some bigger streamers to me, right?
Yeah.
And then he says at the beginning of the video, he's like, we went into smaller streamers communities and asked them to do things. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, this is like, those guys are huge.
Yeah.
So it's really it comes down to perspective, because to Musty, those guys are tiny, but to like, medium-sized streamers, those guys are freaking enormous.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is like, I don't know that I would ever want to become anywhere close to a household name. It's like there are people not involved in Twitch who know the bigger streamers, the Pokemains, the Amaranth, kind of, not the, you know, but I mean, she's a good streamer.
Yeah.
She's a good streamer, okay, guys?
Okay, I didn't say anything, okay?
The ninjas, what have you, the shrouds. And so, like, that's on another level past the people who are just well known on Twitch too, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting thing, but who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, it's growth is growth, and we'll set our milestones where they're at next. And for you, I think I know the answer, but what is that next big milestone that you're working to that feels attainable, to set you up for the next little bit of your stream career?
So like, I think I talk about this a lot on my stream, but like hitting 1,000 was my original goal for like halfway through this year, and I mean we're well on our way to hitting that, and that was like my first goal. So I think my next one isn't going to be a numbers goal; it's going to be a content goal.
Okay.
Because numbers goal, that was just for me to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
That has no bearing on success, realistically.
Right.
The amount of followers you have is insignificant. Well, not necessarily, because more people get notifications, but that's about it, right?
Right.
But 1,000 was like, okay, that'll be cool. I hit 1,000, that'll be good. After that, it's the content that's going to be my big focus. So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I think that's kind of the direction I'm going to go for how we're going to grow as a channel. So.
No, and that makes sense. I mean, it's good to diversify. I mean, you almost have to diversify. I think the idea, like, I'm trying to think of somebody who hit partner just being a Twitch streamer.
I know one of them, and he's the only one I know.
Really?
His name is Chief Beef. I think he got rated earlier, but I was at the end of my stream today. I looked, and he was like 867 viewers. So he might have gotten rated, but he averages 150 to 200. What he did, he started streaming at the beginning of this year, or 2021, I mean, ish,
yeah.
Right? He just went live every day at the same time, 6 p.m. every day for like 4 hours. Every
really?
day. And if you look at his stream element, or no, not stream elements, his the Twitch tracker. If you look at his calendar, it's purple because he streams. He does not miss days. Like, he didn't miss a day.
Dude, that's crazy. But you know
now
what?
He's freaking huge.
Doesn't that just, it goes to show you consistency is the name of the game over anything, right? And I think that's the lesson that we've both learned. And I mean,
yep.
We know what that's like, but it is like, because that guy cannot feel in the best headspace every single day. No, he just does it.
Yep. I mean, I wasn't in the best headspace today, and I just kind of had to
just push through it,
and
right?
I felt fine, but
yeah. But it's funny because sometimes you have those streams that you start, and then it's like you start to feel the rhythm of it, but then sometimes you just don't. Like, and they're kind of hard to get through. Hard to get through. But I mean, at the end of the day, you generally feel better for having gone live in the first, anyways. So.
Usually, yeah. I think that's like 99% of the time you feel better.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's just done and it's out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely. Okay, so one thing I do want to address though is that now that you feel like Twitch and being a streamer is a portion of your identity. This is like a little bit of a bigger question, but how do you feel like your broader sense of self has changed from 2 years ago? Even like, it's like, what's getting you out of bed today that wasn't there 2 years ago, and what's maybe changed from where your motivations were prior to being having put so much energy into Twitch?
Wow, there's a lot of shit in that question, man.
Yeah, it was my bad.
No, you're good. Where to start though? It's the broad question is how has your identity changed, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know if it outside of stream it hasn't, because I don't tell people. And it's not that I'm embarrassed. It's not that I don't want people to know or anything. It's that I have always had this weird thing with like I want to do it myself. And I know we talked about this a long time ago even, where it's like I don't even like promoting in other people. I don't even like getting promoted in other people's chats because it's like I want to earn the views or something weird. I don't know what it is.
Nah, it's not weird. I get that.
Yeah, and so it's like I also don't want people to know what I do because it's like it's almost like a secret like success of mine or something.
Right.
When things go well, it's like it's my own thing. It's not like other people don't get to be a part of it. It's a weird thing like that. I'll tell you, right?
But I mean, I've only ever
friends.
met you in this
yes,
the guise
exactly.
of being a streamer too, right? As much as we are friends.
Yeah. So like my friend group, when I hit a milestone, I'll let them know. But they usually don't give a shit really. Like they care, but they're like, oh, cool. Like they don't understand what that means, but another Twitch person would understand what it means, right? Mm-hmm. So at the same time, it's just kind of like it's a moot point, and that's just for as far as telling people. So I don't really carry the streamer identity outside of the digital world. I don't think that it's not something I'm interested in. I would never want to be walking down the street and someone say, hey, so-and-so. Like, for whatever reason, let's say I actually ever get any type of good followage, like, or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. I would never want to get stopped and then be like, oh, you're so-and-so.
Right.
Zero desire for that.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think that plays into the idea that, like, I mean, you are a no face cam streamer. And I think that just part of the identity of your stream and what you want from it too is that you want it just there to just be a little bit of this anonymity and this degree of separation from you to who you are as a streamer.
Yeah. That's 100% it. And it's like, I used to use Facecam at the beginning because I thought I was supposed to. And that's part of going back to the whole thing about watching these videos when you're a new streamer. There's all these rules of like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And in reality, you don't. Those are good rules for those people. Mm-hmm. Those is what worked for those people who are making the video. But I found Facecam, and I know you know this, but Facecam made me less animated. Mm-hmm. In a way, it was weird.
No, for sure. I mean, that it's not weird. Like, that makes sense, right? Like, I think there's just this idea of that anonymity allows you to play a little bit more of a character, right? Not that the stream version of yourself isn't a part of you. It's just it's a subset of who you are, right? So you can start to lean into it and shape it a little bit more freely when there isn't a face cam there. And you know what's funny, and what you kind of talking about this has raised for me is that that separation is really nice because I always wanted to approach my own stream with a lot of vulnerability, right? Just to like lay out exactly what I'm going through, who I am as a person, how that changes on a day-to-day basis. But there have been very real moments when I feel like I need to change how I open up about what I'm going through because there's someone in my actual life watching. Right. And sometimes it could actually be about them that I'm processing, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but that's even what I was talking about. Like when I first started streaming is if someone was in the house, even if they had all the doors shut with music on, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not stream in the same house as somebody because it was such a divergence of my regular. I think I have this like, the goofy side of me is something that isn't on display around other people, but the online medium allows me to really cut loose.
Right.
And so I'm actually very if you were to meet me, I would be, if I knew you and I'd be having fun with you, I'd be probably close to what I am online. But around most people, like I don't talk. I'm very kind of to myself, and like I'm loud if I need to be, but I don't want to talk to you. Like at the grocery store, if someone came up to me, like no shot, I'm talking to you. No shot. Like get out of my face, bro.
That's
why,
so funny.
Why are you coming up to me, man? So anyway,
that's so funny. But
and then online, I'll talk to anyone. Like, whatever, bro. Like, how you doing?
Well, this is the thing, right? Is like, I think that you're one of the streamers who has the gift of conversation, and the fact that like in real life you kind of are just like, you know, in some
And I'm not
areas
awkward because I feel like I have a fairly high social aptitude, but it's just it's a lack of wanting that communication instead of the skill of having it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure. So I guess where that would go from there is I think about this too in my own life, because it's like we have our goals outside of stream and then we have our goals in stream, but sometimes they do cross over because you need to find time and energy to prioritize stream. Do you feel like, had you found stream success, that you would be willing to let that be the biggest part of your life in terms of the things that you work towards, in terms of what you find purpose in?
I think it already is. Stream right now is the biggest thing in my life. I'm not like, I was working, and I think that was part of the reason I was not as on schedule with my streams. But right now, I actually don't even have any contracts, so I'm literally like unemployed right now, and that's why I've just been dumping all my energy into streams. But that's not going to last forever. Like, I'm applying for jobs and stuff, but even when I get a job, I just feel like it's become such a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
That it's the main focal point. It is.
Yeah.
Other than like, you know, move me trying to move and stuff and dealing with my, like, you know, government garbage, but
yeah, for sure. And
it is 100% the focal point.
And that's a good thing. I think in some ways you found yourself in a very in some ways privileged place for what your goals are, right? Is that you do have the time and energy to put into stream, and those days when that's all you have to do is stream is so much better.
I know,
because that's where all your energy goes. You know, there are days when you've worked and then you have to stream, and it's just harder to bring the energy to it. And that can sometimes make a difference. I mean, we talked about just having that energy be there for when people pop in. And I've had times where I know that I have not been my best self in the way that I've interacted with somebody just because I was just burned.
When has this happened? I've never I've missed, I feel like I've missed 1% of your streams, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you have like a sus interaction with a new viewer.
No,
so that must be internal on a mega level.
Internal. No, but it's like in some ways, yeah, but not. It's not that I was like toxic to somebody, but just that I didn't bring the enthusiasm that I wanted to. And I'm like, you know what? They probably didn't stick around because what was I doing? I wasn't like at least even trying to be excited about that interaction.
Right.
So I mean that's
okay. That makes a little more sense. Like, what the? Yeah, honestly, I really gave that viewer the
I really lost it on him, to be honest.
I lost it on a guy. I lost it on a guy recently who came into stream. It was the guy who was dropping chords in my chat. It was the guy who was putting people's IP addresses in, and I lost it on him. And then I also lost it on the kid who was who came in self-promoing.
Oh yeah,
and I might have taken out my own personal hate of self-promo. I might have put it onto him a little bit, but he probably didn't deserve me laying into him. I'll admit.
Yeah, that's so funny. But you know what though? At the same time, that's a level of boundary setting that occurs too, right? Yeah. And like, if there's one thing that I've realized, it's that you need to be constantly ready to set boundaries when you're streaming. And do you feel like that's something that you've gotten better at? Well, I honestly almost think I would know. Like, how do you feel like, of the challenges that have presented themselves to you on Twitch, where has it forced you to grow? Just in yourself and how you interact with people.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that. So, like, I think that a great way to answer this is like when I started, each viewer is each chatter and viewer is so valuable to you that it's tough to set boundaries, because you don't want to push them away.
Yes.
And so people will be very annoying, and you'll just pretend like it's funny. And I do still do this to a degree, but I think one way I've grown with people in the streaming sphere is I'm not afraid to tell people to shut up, or that it's just too much. It's like, okay, we're gonna shut down. Like,
yeah,
no, and that's something that I wouldn't have done. I would have been like, you know,
yeah.
you know, like,
yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. That's that. And honestly, like that, I think I saw that growth in you too, and that willingness to do that. Because I know, and for me, I think for the most part I am, and I've had to set boundaries with certain people. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to be able to do that. But that feeling of, being like, yeah, oh, for sure, I'm just gonna put up with it because we need the viewers. But at the same time, it's worth crafting exactly who you want to be in your community, even if it means that you're slowing your growth by a little bit.
Yep, 100%. And I think what?
Conceal, it's not. Conceal goes, I wonder if that's me. No, you're fine. Conceal.
No, Conceal, you're a great chatter, man. You're a great chatter. And I think that the people who. It doesn't take very long for people. When I snap at people, they usually don't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I think that comes from also when I get mad, it gets very awkward in chat because it's very different from what the energy I give off usually.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen you get like angry and the chat get weird.
It got weird a couple times, but yeah. No, people usually don't do it again and if they do it again, they're gone, right? So it's not a problem for long.
No, absolutely, for sure. And no, I think I totally get that too. Dude, yeah, it's
I
definitely
banned
a
guy the other day for being like too melancholy. He was like bitching about how he got banned in Max's stream, and I was like, well, do you want me to ban you here too?
Oh, no. But
and
honestly,
I did, because he was being annoying.
But yeah, you can't sympathy fish too, right? Like,
yeah.
You know, there's a difference between opening up about how your day is going and then just constantly wanting a certain
trauma dumping.
Yeah, right, exactly, for sure. But it's funny because it's like, as a streamer, I would probably have been like receptive to that, but it's like I want that openness from people too, right? Is that
that's why you're special in your own way. Like it's great.
Well, for sure, right? For sure, and that's the thing. That's the difference. That's the difference in terms of the energies we bring to stream. But it's so funny that we're very similar people, but we run a very different stream, which I like. But it's also funny how it's like you see the people in our community who decide to cross over and who don't, which is interesting too.
So true, man.
Right?
So true. There are people that I've seen here forever and they've never come over, and I get it. I 100% get it.
It's so funny, but vice versa.
I don't know if I'd watch me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, whatever, bro. Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny.
Honestly, I understand why my people don't go to you too. I'm just kidding.
I do too.
Sorry. We had to take shots on both sides there.
Yeah, we had to fire one across both bows. That's pretty reasonable. Oh, that's super funny. Beefy, what's up, man? I can't think of much.
I think if more people came into your stream, they wouldn't leave. I think that I'm not kidding. I think that if they gave the content a chance, they like, bro, there's a reason I go to every one of your streams, man. Like, you're entertaining as shit.
Yeah,
So.
Fair enough. This isn't about me though. But yeah, like
walking away from the compliment, got you.
Hey, well, no, thank you. I received that compliment, sir. But Jesus. But no, it's true, man, and it's it's funny in that sense. And I know the benefit of, so no, here's one thing I do want to address too, is that in terms of the content that you put out there, where did that start with what you wanted from your stream, and then where is it headed in what you've seen lately?
So where did it start with? Where say the beginning
content that you were putting out and choosing to put out in terms of the stuff that you were gonna play, in terms of how people were involved in that content in those games.
So I when I started streaming, it was in my first year of playing Rocket League. It was right when I went like from casual player to like I actually started grinding.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll stream Rocket League because it's what I'm playing anyway. And like honestly, as a did my computer just freeze?
No, I can
hear me. Okay, good. Honestly, as a individual who plays video games, I love like RPGs and stuff.
Right.
I like Skyrim kind of games. I like all that kind of stuff. But I was as soon as I started streaming and I started getting followers, they were Rocket League followers. So they expected Rocket League content, and so when I would go and play something else, it was like, oh, no one's here. So it kind of like, it started off as like okay, I'll play Rocket League because that's the only way people are going to come to stream.
Yeah.
And then I tried moving away a couple times to different content, and that worked pretty good. But I've just come to streaming Rocket League is just a very comfortable thing. It's very easy to do. Even when I play Valorant like today, it's an uncomfortable place for me because you learn in Rocket League when to look at chat. You learn, in certain places on the field when you can like sneak a peek and when situations arise. Whereas in like a shooter, it's like I felt like I was quiet half the time, right? And so a part of it is a comfortability apart from viewership. It's a really familiarity with the game. But I mean, realistically, in a perfect world, let's say if I could restart tomorrow, I would be streaming like RPGs and stuff.
Really? That's interesting because
strategy games and stuff like that.
Yeah, interesting, because I always felt that you kept that separation because you wanted to leave that to like a personal enjoyment, because there's a difference between playing a game on stream and then playing it off stream. But at the same time, you can play the same game off stream that you're playing on stream and enjoy it differently too.
Yeah, and I mean, I just love I'm just too addicted to Rocket League to not stream it either. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with where I'm at with doing Rocket League as my primary game. Yeah, and I know I've gone through some crises with content that you've been a part of, but
I mean, well, you gotta test things out too, right? I mean, like that's what this is too. It's just testing out the content that you put out, and like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I do feel like you had some, like when you were playing games like The Walking Dead and things like that. Even Fall Guys was a big part of your content for a while. I think Fall Guys played in really well with the energy that you have in your stream. I think The Walking Dead was a little bit different, but it was also like good in a lot of ways. But I know that it was a change in dynamics, a change in viewership sometimes when that happens. So yeah.
I really liked The Walking Dead. That was fun. That was a really fun time. That was also very early on. That's when I got that really big follower spike.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that the reasons for playing The Walking Dead were not as genuine as I want them to be. It wasn't an enjoyment of the game. It was an enjoyment of success. And that's not something I want to chase after. So like Rocket League, I just love being in the community of it, right? So I can I can really enjoy and feel accomplished in streaming that. And when the success comes, it doesn't feel cheap. Or in the failures, it doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel like you're as personally responsible.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
So it's just a very comfortable thing. I think that in the future, like we go through Minecraft kicks, and those always do well. Whenever we go in Minecraft kicks,
Right,
it
true.
seems like people enjoy that. But that's like twice a year so far.
That's so funny. So then I guess we talk about those like quote unquote failures. Not that that's a word that we need to demonize, but
No.
how do you find that you deal with the times in which whatever you got back from having put yourself out there on stream wasn't what you felt like you wanted it to be? How do you push through those in order to like continue doing what you're doing? In terms of the things you tell yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that the easiest thing that we do is we go into the doom cycle where it's you know, oh my gosh, everything's failing. Things are never going to be good again. And then all it takes is one good stream and you're back.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely your mentals are completely fixed because it's that one success will give you the confidence you need. And I mean, we were talking about how streaming is so momentum based too. I think that when you have that structure of, well, I stream this day, this time, and we don't really ask questions about it, there's less of a chance for you to go into this what's the point kind of mode.
Yeah. Beefy,
because I've had those even in the last month. I've had a couple days where it's just like, oh my gosh, I hate it, right?
Yeah.
And there's no question of do I want to stream tomorrow? We're gonna go again tomorrow and see what happens. Yeah. And then that stream goes well, and then you forgot it ever happened.
Yeah, for sure, right? And
that's how I deal with it.
Oh, definitely. And I know what that feels like too, where it's like you have that tough stream where it's like maybe you didn't get the engagement that you were hoping from it, or you didn't feel good in yourself, and it's hard. And do you find like when you feel that downturn of it maybe feels harder to decide to go live again, it's just that commitment to that you said you were going to do that, and so I'm going to do it? Is that what drives you there?
Yeah, so what I based it off of was not
what's up, Rockin'?
Not willpower, but habit. Because I'm pretty bad with willpower. I if I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna see it through, I will not do well. And that's just because of just who I am. Like in some places I will be good with that, but I mean, I'm very much more effective at things when it's habit. And so what I did is I just said I think it was this month. I decided at the end, like as a New Year's resolution, I was like, I'm just gonna stay on schedule for a month, and I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna I don't know what they say. I think it takes like 20 days to make a habit.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. So I was like, if I make it a habit of streaming, I won't have to deal with the should I do it or not, because it's gonna feel weird if I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so by habitually streaming, I prevent myself from having that kind of war of attrition in my mind. And I mean, I didn't stream one day. I think it was like last week or something. I felt weird, but here's where you're getting into a habit. I want to stream on weekends now because it feels weird not streaming.
Really, hey?
Yeah, so on Sunday I streamed because I felt weird because I wanted to stream. On Saturday I took a day off, which was fine, but I was like, oh, I should stream. And I was like, oh no, it's a Saturday. I can't stream on Saturday. So it's like, yeah, it's becoming a part of my day, and that really helps me stay focused on it, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's not about if it's a good stream or bad stream. It's just what we do.
You know what? And that's such a good way to approach it. It's almost like that idea of they tell people like if you're gonna have a morning routine, have a morning outfit too, kind of thing. Or the people who wear the same thing every day. It's that thing where you don't make the decision. It's just that's what you do, and there's no mental energy put into how should I do this, or should I be doing like this kind of thing. So yeah, same idea, right? You remove the roadblocks in the way to going live and just do it. And streaming the same game more often than not helps with that too, because you're not like, oh, what kind of content should I put out there? What should I be playing?
It completely relieves the pressure.
Yeah.
You go live, drive around and free play a little bit, do a couple games, custom games, couple tourneys, call it quits. GG.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. We're at that hour mark. Okay, what I'll do is, let's just see, does anyone like who's still chilling with us like have questions they want to throw to Rudd about this sort of stuff? Conceal says I wear the same uniform every day. Watch your goddamn mouth, by the way.
Anyone in chat? Watch your goddamn mouth.
Scammed out of the hydrate. Steve has been starting a mutiny on his own this whole time.
Scammed out of hydrate, home, deep breath.
I meant to turn those off actually before the start of this, and I forgot.
Freaking chief, bro, relax.
Yeah, honestly, right? Like, Jesus. Oh my god. But no, this is good for sure. Oh, Beefy, bro, thank you for the more bits. Can you ask why he has such a massive dump truck of an ass?
I'll tell you why. It's because of milk products. That's why. That I'm lactose intolerant, but I drink them, eat them anyway.
This dumpy runs on dairy.
Yeah, this dumpy runs on freaking Albertan dairy, brother.
Oh, super. That's the questions we need out of the Q&A section. That's so funny. Holy shit. But honestly, yeah, this was more or less just like just let's try this out. Rudd helped me out with being willing to be the first guest on here.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't have to be about streaming all the time. It can be whatever. Power goes, give Rudd his value. He redeems it.
Please don't.
I'm gonna give you your value as a streamer.
God damn it. Okay.
No, but man, I think what really stands out to me and like where you have this gift as a streamer is that you can play both sides of what it means to be a streamer, and we've already kind of touched on this, is that you can be just that pure entertainment. You can bounce off of the game, you can bounce off of nothing, and be that entertainment, but at the same time you're there and you know how to interact with chat, you know how to pull somebody in because they've said hi. And I think that's rare. I think oftentimes we're kind of one or the other, and to be able to have both and have an ability to grow into both is super, super valuable. And so it's like you can kind of ride that wave wherever your stream takes you. But I think that at a base level is there's a lot of potential to it. And your stream just continues to have a lot of potential. You've seriously hit your stride in this last month, probably because of your momentum. But I think if you just keep it up, man, sky's the limit from here. Like we said, man, you were pushing past 40 to 50 viewers 2 days ago, or even a day ago. So you know what, man, you're almost there. So just keep it up.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Means a lot.
Yeah, but you guys, this is a lot of fun. This is just kind of a quick one. I didn't really have much going on with this. We were thinking we'll go for about an hour or so. Try this out. Again, you guys, I'm gonna keep doing this. It's not gonna be Rudd every time. It's not. This isn't just a when. We didn't just cut Braden out of a podcast. That's not what happened. So this can be anybody who wants to come on here and have a conversation with me. It's about anything you want. You don't even have to be a streamer to come on here. We'll talk about whatever's meaningful to you. It's Beefy next. Is that what we heard? Beefy, you come on this podcast with me, bro. I'd happily have you. You can choose to have a camera. You can choose not to have a camera. It's however you want to approach it. But this is good. And yeah, you guys were all welcome. Rudd, thanks for trial running this thing with me, man.
Yeah, it was good, man. I think this is a good medium or whatever I would say for you. It's like dude, you're such a good you're actually such a good host. Like I knew you would be, bro, but like I'm not even kidding right now. Like it was like I felt like I was starting to sweat there. I thought I was gonna get the CIA or something looking at me.
Nah, bro. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I remember me and my buddy Zach used to run a podcast, and it was just when you'd have guests on, you just got to do that. So yeah. Jag, what's up, buddy? We're just nearing the end of stream, Jag. We just had a little talk show, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Rudd, on the musings of his Twitch career.
Yeah, it was pretty trash.
But for real, I do have some interesting life stories. Conceal, come on the podcast, bro. Come on the podcast. Seriously. If you guys ever want to be on, just DM me. I'm gonna be reaching out to people too, and stuff like that. But yeah, feel free to DM me if you guys want to come on the podcast. Steve says the next Ellen. Yeah, well, I'm gonna be the next Ellen. I'm gonna be the next Ellen in the sense that I find success for being like this fun, warm person, and then it'll just come out that I'm super actually toxic to everyone.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And that's
just
how I get
abuse your
canceled.
employees and shit. Yeah.
That's tough.
Honestly, that was my read on you right away.
Yeah, Rud has seen through it for sure, and that's the only reason we're actually friends. Is he just called me out on it right off the bat. He's like, "Yeah, you're actually kind of a dick."
You kind of seem like a piece of shit. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Let's get me on. Jag, you're coming on too, buddy. Well, let's start that list. We'll have everyone on here. But man, I appreciate that. This was definitely a great way to start it, and the comfortability between you and I really helped me with this too. So I appreciate that. But yeah,
no problem, man.
You guys, I guess let's look for somebody to raid. It's gonna freeze the camera, but you'll be able to hear me because I need to look on Twitch itself. Let's see here. Who shall we braid? I don't think we'll raid anyone.
You should get an end stream.
I have one, but it doesn't have my mic on it, which is a tissue.
So just put it on.
Oh, that seems tall. No. Yeah, I should. I probably should. For sure. You guys, I think I'm going to throw it over to Dumpster Ducky. Speaking of dumpies, right? Little Dumpster Ducky.
Yeah,
I'm going to rebrand as Dumpster Dumpy.
Guys, if you're from my chat, follow Wen right now or you're banned.
No, don't do that. That's toxic.
No, do it.
The toxic. And yeah, you guys, if you're from my chat, obviously follow Rud. Again, it got to a point where Rud started from my audience, and then it just got to a point where I'm hoping to catch up with Rud.
What?
So
stop.
But no, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to our good old conversation. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to drop you over to Dumpster Ducky. She's a part of our community. She's playing Resident Evil right now. So if you want to go say hi to her, give her a little bit of a follow. She's a sweetheart. But you guys are great. And we will see probably Thursday. We'll have more normal streams where I'm talking to you guys more. Okay, coming in with the Uwu train. All right, I will make that happen. Okay, thanks guys. See you later. And let me pull up Ducky's stream. There we go.